The searing pain of the injection shot up Alex Everett's arm like liquid fire, causing his muscles to seize and his vision to blur around the edges. This wasn't his first dose, nor would it be his last if he had anything to say about it. The alien doctors hovering over him exchanged concerned glances with their large, multifaceted eyes that reflected his contorted expression back at him a dozen times over. "Your vital signs are deteriorating rapidly, human," said Dr. Zrell, the lead physician. His blue-gray skin rippled with concern, the small tentacles around his mouth twitching nervously. "The toxicity levels in your bloodstream have exceeded what your species should be able to tolerate." Alex tried to laugh, but it came out as a wet cough instead. Red speckles dotted the inside of his oxygen mask. "That's the whole point, isn't it? To see how much I can take?" The medical bay of the research vessel, Helios, hummed quietly around them. Alex had volunteered for this program 6 months ago, when the Vraxian Medical Coalition had put out the call for human test subjects. Their species had been on Earth for nearly a decade now, ever since first contact, but human physiology still presented mysteries they were eager to solve. Dr. Mev, the younger physician, stepped forward with a scanner that hummed as it passed over Alex's chest. "I do not understand. The compound is causing internal hemorrhaging. Your lungs are beginning to fill with fluid. This dose was miscalculated. It is fatal." Alex managed a weak smile. "Yeah, well, that's why I'm here. Your note said the last guy only made it to dose 4. This is dose 5. He took a rattling breath. "Let's go for 6. The 3 alien doctors in the room went completely still, a Vraxian sign of extreme shock. Their species didn't have much in the way of facial expressions, but their skin changed colors subtly with their emotions. All 3 had gone from their normal blue-gray to a pale lavender. "That is not possible," said Dr. Jix, the third physician, her voice higher and more musical than her male counterparts. "Your kidneys are already shutting down. Another dose would terminate your life functions within minutes." Alex closed his eyes as another wave of pain washed over him. When he opened them, he looked directly at Dr. Zrell. "That's what you said about dose 3, and dose 4, and this one. Yet here I am." The truth was, Alex was terrified. Every cell in his body screamed in protest, and he could feel his heart stuttering in his chest. But he had nothing to lose, and everything to prove. Dr. Zrell's tentacles flattened against his face, a sign of deliberation. "The purpose of this experiment is to test the limits of human endurance against compound XT7, not to cause unnecessary death. You are aware of the risks, but we cannot ethically administer another dose." Alex coughed again, more violently this time. The pain was excruciating, like someone had poured acid into his veins. "Listen, Doc, I signed all your waivers. I knew what I was getting into." "Why?" Dr. Mev's question was simple but loaded. "Why would you request more of a substance that is killing you?" A memory flashed through Alex's mind. The hospital room back on Earth, the doctors with their sympathetic faces as they told him he had 6 months to live. "Stage 4, pancreatic cancer, inoperable, terminal." "Because I'm already dead," Alex whispered. "At least this way, my death might mean something." The aliens exchanged glances, communicating in their silent way. Dr. Jix approached and adjusted something on Alex's IV line. "We will not administer another dose," she said firmly. "However, we will try an experimental counteragent that may neutralize some of the compound's effects." Alex wanted to argue, but found he didn't have the strength. His vision was tunneling, and the ceiling of the medical bay seemed to be getting further away. As consciousness began to slip from his grasp, he heard Dr. Zrell's voice, more urgent now. "His cardiac rhythm is destabilizing. Prepare the neural stabilizer. We're losing him." Then, darkness. When Alex opened his eyes again, he was surprised to find himself still alive. The medical bay looked different, brighter, more sterile. The pain had receded to a dull ache throughout his body instead of the searing agony from before. "He's awake," came Dr. Jix's voice from somewhere to his right. Alex turned his head slowly, wincing at the stiffness in his neck. Dr. Jick stood next to his bed, her lavender skin now back to its normal blue-gray hue. Dr. Zrell and Dr. Mev were across the room, studying readouts on a holographic display. "How long was I out?" Alex asked, his voice a dry rasp. 3 Earth days, Dr. Jix replied. "Your body went into a form of protective hibernation we've never observed in humans before. It's quite remarkable." Alex tried to sit up but found he was still too weak. "Did you give me the counteragent?" "Yes," Dr. Zrell said, moving to his bedside. "And something else as well. Your physiology's response to the compound was unexpected." Alex frowned. "Unexpected how?" Dr. Mev joined them, holding a tablet-like device displaying what looked like cellular images. "The compound, in combination with our counteragent, appears to have triggered an unusual immune response in your body." Alex's heart rate quickened. "What kind of response?" The 3 doctors looked at each other again. It was Dr. Zrell who finally spoke. "The cancer cells in your pancreas are dying, Mr. Everett, at an accelerated rate." Alex stared at him in disbelief. "That's not possible." The doctors on Earth said, "Earth medicine has not had the benefit of studying the interaction between Vraxian biochemistry and human disease," Dr. Jix interrupted gently. "What we witnessed was entirely accidental, but the results are undeniable." Hope, a dangerous, fragile thing Alex had banished months ago, fluttered in his chest. "Are you saying the compound is curing my cancer?" "Not exactly," Dr. Mev clarified. "The compound itself was indeed killing you, but the emergency counteragent we administered appears to have triggered a cascade effect in your immune system. Your body is now attacking the cancer cells with remarkable efficiency." Alex closed his eyes, processing this information. When he opened them again, his gaze was determined. "So if it's working, why not give me another dose? Speed things up?" Dr. Zrell's skin darkened to a deep navy blue, a sign of concern or disapproval. "That would be extremely reckless. The compound nearly killed you. In fact, clinically, you were dead for 73 seconds. "But I came back," Alex insisted, "and now you're telling me it might actually save me in the long run." "The counteragent is what's helping you," Dr. Jick said firmly. "Not the compound itself. We need to monitor the progress carefully." Alex fell silent, considering. The past 6 months had been a blur of resignation and preparation for death. The thought that he might actually have a future now was almost too much to comprehend. "How sure are you," he finally asked, "that this is working?" Dr. Mev displayed another set of images on his device. "These are scans of your pancreas from when you first arrived 6 months ago, and these are from today. The tumor mass has decreased by approximately 22%. Alex stared at the images, trying to see what the alien doctor saw. To his untrained eye, both looked like indecipherable blobs, but he trusted their expertise. "And if we continue with the counteragent treatment?" he asked. "We believe the regression will continue," Dr. Zrell said, "but we need to proceed cautiously. Your body has endured significant trauma." Alex nodded slowly. "Okay, no more compound, but I want to continue with whatever's working." The relief in the room was palpable as the doctor's skin colors lightened to a calmer shade of blue. "Rest now," Dr. Jick said, adjusting something on his IV. "We will begin a proper treatment protocol tomorrow." As the days passed, Alex's strength gradually returned. The alien doctors monitored his progress closely, administering carefully calibrated doses of the counteragent they now called Remission X. Each scan showed the tumor continuing to shrink, though the process was slower than Alex would have liked. 2 weeks after his near-death experience, Alex was sitting up in bed, actually feeling hungry for the first time in months. Dr. Zrell entered the room, followed by a human woman in a white lab coat whom Alex had never seen before. "Mr. Everett," Dr. Zrell said, "this is Dr. Sarah Fullerton. She is the human liaison for our research team." Dr. Fullerton stepped forward with a professional smile. She was in her 40s, with dark hair pulled back in a neat bun and intelligent eyes that studied him with open curiosity. "Mr. Everett," she said, extending her hand, "I've been following your case with great interest." Alex shook her hand, noting her firm grip. "Didn't know I had a case worth following." "On the contrary," she replied, pulling up a chair next to his bed. "What's happening with your treatment could represent a significant breakthrough in cancer therapy." Alex glanced at Dr. Zrell. "So they've told you everything?" "Yes," Dr. Fullerton nodded. "And I've reviewed all the data myself. It's quite extraordinary." "Does this mean we're moving forward with the treatment?" Alex asked hopefully. Dr. Fullerton and Dr. Zrell exchanged glances. "Yes and no," she said carefully. "The Vraxian Medical Ethics Committee has approved continued treatment for you, but they're concerned about the initial circumstances." "Meaning they don't want me injected with any more fatal doses," Alex said with a wry smile. "Precisely," Dr. Zrell confirmed. "However, we have synthesized a modified version of the counteragent that appears to produce the same immune response without the need for the toxic compound." Alex nodded slowly. "So, what happens now?" "Now," Dr. Fullerton said, "we need to discuss transferring you to a proper research hospital on Earth to continue your treatment under more controlled conditions." Alex's expression hardened. "No, I'm staying here." Dr. Fullerton seemed taken aback. "Mr. Everett, while the Helios has excellent facilities, an Earth hospital would—" "Would what?" Alex interrupted. "Take over the research? Patent it? Make sure only the rich can afford it once it's approved?" Dr. Fullerton's expression remained professionally neutral, but her voice cooled. "That's not fair. This treatment needs proper clinical trials, regulatory approval." "Which could take years," Alex finished for her. "Years I don't have. Listen, Dr. Fullerton, I came here because Earth medicine gave up on me. These doctors," he gestured to Dr. Zrell, "they're the ones who found something that works." Dr. Zrell's tentacles fluttered, a sign of mild embarrassment. "It was largely accidental, Mr. Everett." "Accident or not, I trust you," Alex said firmly, "and I want to continue treatment here." Dr. Fullerton sighed. "The problem is, Mr. Everett, that the Interplanetary Medical Cooperation Treaty requires all experimental treatments involving human subjects to be conducted with Earth oversight." "Then oversee," Alex said simply. "Stay here, watch, document, but I'm not leaving this ship until I'm cured." The standoff lasted several seconds before Dr. Zrell intervened. "Perhaps we can reach a compromise. Dr. Fullerton could remain aboard the Helios as the Earth representative, and we could establish a direct communication channel with your Earth regulatory authorities." Dr. Fullerton considered this. "That might be acceptable, provided we implement proper protocols and documentation." Alex relaxed slightly. "So I can stay?" "For now," Dr. Fullerton conceded, "but I will need to consult with my superiors." Over the next few weeks, a routine developed. Each morning, Dr. Mev would take scans to track the tumor's regression. Then Dr. Jix would administer the daily dose of Remission X, adjusted according to Alex's response. Dr. Fullerton would observe and document everything, occasionally conferring with Earth colleagues via secure transmission. And slowly, remarkably, Alex began to feel better. The constant pain that had been his companion for months diminished. His appetite returned. He even began taking short walks around the medical bay, then longer walks through the permitted sections of the ship. One morning, about 2 months after his near-death experience, Alex was sitting in the ship's observation deck, staring out at the vast expanse of stars. Earth hung like a blue jewel. In the distance, the Helios maintained orbit in the L2 Lagrange point, far enough away to conduct research in isolation, but close enough for regular supply runs. He heard the soft sound of footsteps behind him and turned to see Dr. Fullerton approaching with a tablet in hand. "Mind if I join you?" she asked. Alex gestured to the empty seat beside him. "Free galaxy." She sat down, her gaze following his out to the stars. "Beautiful view." "Yeah," Alex agreed. "Never thought I'd see it." Dr. Fullerton was quiet for a moment before speaking. "I have news. The latest scans show the tumor has shrunk by almost 70%. Alex turned to her, hope evident in his expression. That's good, right? Very good, she confirmed with a genuine smile. At this rate, you could be in full remission within another month. Alex let out a breath he hadn't realized he was holding. And then what? Then you go home, Dr. Fullerton said. Resume your life. Alex turned back to the window, watching Earth rotate slowly in the distance. Not sure I remember what that looks like anymore. Dr. Fullerton studied him with a shrewd expression. You never talk about your life before. Family? Friends? Not much to tell, Alex shrugged. Parents died years ago. No siblings, few friends, fewer girlfriends. Work kept me busy. What did you do? Mechanical engineer, specialized in hydraulic systems. He gave a humorless laugh. Ironic that I ended up with a fluid problem in my own system. Dr. Fullerton nodded thoughtfully. And there's no one waiting for you back home? Alex was silent for a long moment. There was. Once. When he didn't elaborate, Dr. Fullerton didn't press. Instead, she switched topics. The Vraxians want to name the treatment after you. Everett therapy. Alex snorted. That's ridiculous. I didn't do anything except nearly die. Sometimes that's enough, she said quietly. Your willingness to push beyond what was considered safe led to this discovery. My willingness to die, you mean? Alex corrected. Let's not romanticize it. I came here because I had nothing to lose. Dr. Fullerton studied him for a moment. And now? Do you have something to lose? The question caught Alex off guard. He looked back out at Earth, considering. I guess I do, he finally admitted. A future I didn't think I'd have. Then maybe it's time to think about what you want to do with it, she suggested, standing up. I'll leave you to your stars, Mr. Everett. As she walked away, Alex called after her. Alex, call me Alex. She turned, a small smile on her lips. Only if you call me Sarah. The next day brought an unexpected complication. Alex woke feeling feverish, his body aching in a way that reminded him of the early days of his treatment. Dr. Jix noticed immediately when she came to administer his morning dose. Your temperature is elevated, she said, her skin shifting to a concerned lavender. And your white blood cell count has increased dramatically. Dr. Zrell was summoned, along with Dr. Mev and Sarah. They ran tests, consulted in low voices, and finally turned to Alex with serious expressions. Your body is developing an immunity to the remission X, Dr. Zrell explained. It's not unusual many treatments lose effectiveness over time as the body adapts. So what do we do? Alex asked, trying to keep the fear from his voice. We need to modify the formula, Dr. Mev said, but that will take time. How much time? Several days at minimum, Dr. Jix replied. Meanwhile, the cancer cells could begin proliferating again without the suppressive effect of the treatment. Alex looked from one face to another. So we're back to square one. Not exactly, Sarah interjected. We know the original compound in combination with the counteragent produced the strongest response. If we could administer a controlled dose. No, Dr. Zrell said firmly. The risk is too great. But if we carefully calibrate it, Sarah persisted, just enough to trigger the immune response without the severe toxic effects. I'll do it, Alex interrupted. All eyes turned to him. If there's even a chance it could work, I'll do it. Dr. Zrell's skin darkened to navy blue again. Mr. Everett, Alex, you don't understand. Even a small dose could cause significant organ damage. I understand perfectly, Alex countered. Either we try this, or we sit back and watch while the cancer takes hold again. I've been down that road before. I'm not going back. The debate raged for hours. The Vraxian doctors were reluctant to risk Alex's life when he was so close to recovery. Sarah was torn between her duty as a medical professional and her understanding of Alex's desperation. In the end, it was Dr. Jix who offered a compromise. We can synthesize a highly diluted version of the compound, she suggested. 1/10 the strength of the original dose, then immediately follow with an enhanced counteragent. Dr. Zrell considered this, his tentacles twitching with agitation. The risk would still be substantial, but calculated, Dr. Mev pointed out, and potentially necessary. After much discussion and consultation with the Vraxian Medical Ethics Committee, they agreed to proceed with extreme caution. The new dose was prepared, so diluted it was barely visible in the syringe when Dr. Zrell brought it to Alex's room the following morning. "This will still be painful," he warned, his large eyes studying Alex's face, "and potentially dangerous. You can still change your mind." Alex sat up straighter in the bed. "I haven't changed it yet." Sarah stood on his other side, a monitoring device in her hands. "We'll be tracking your vitals continuously. At the first sign of severe distress, we'll administer the counteragent." Alex nodded, then held out his arm. "Let's do this." Dr. Zrell inserted the needle into Alex's vein and slowly pushed the plunger. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the pain hit, not as intense as before, but still enough to make Alex gasp and grip the edges of the bed. "Heart rate increasing," Sarah reported, watching the monitor. "Blood pressure rising." Alex gritted his teeth as the pain spread through his chest and abdomen. It felt like being burned from the inside out, but at a lower temperature, simmering rather than boiling. "Oxygen saturation dropping," Dr. Jix called from the other side of the room. "Liver enzymes spiking." "Hang on, Alex," Sarah said, her free hand gripping his shoulder. "Just a little longer." The minutes crawled by like hours as they monitored the compound's progression through his system. Alex's vision blurred and sweat poured down his face. Just when he thought he couldn't take any more, Dr. Zrell nodded to Dr. Mev. "Administer the counteragent now." The second injection brought almost immediate relief. The burning sensation gradually subsided, replaced by a cool numbness that spread through his veins. Alex sagged back against the pillows, exhausted. "Did it work?" he managed to ask through dry lips. "We won't know for certain until we run more tests," Dr. Zrell replied. "Rest now." Alex didn't need to be told twice. He drifted into unconsciousness, vaguely aware of the continued activity around him as the doctors monitored his response. When he woke again, the room was dimly lit, and Sarah was sitting beside his bed, reviewing data on her tablet. She looked up when she noticed his movement. "Welcome back," she said with a tired smile. "How do you feel?" Alex took mental inventory of his body. "Like I've been hit by a truck, but a smaller truck than last time." Sarah's smile widened slightly. "That's an improvement, I suppose." "Did it work?" he asked, echoing his last conscious question. Sarah set the tablet down. "It's too early to say definitively, but your immune markers show increased activity, similar to what we saw after the first treatment. It's promising." Alex closed his eyes briefly in relief. "Good. That's good." "It was still incredibly risky," Sarah admonished gently. "Your kidney function was compromised for several hours. We almost lost you again." "Worth it," Alex said simply. Sarah studied him with a mixture of exasperation and admiration. "You know, most people run from death. You seem to keep challenging it to a duel." Alex managed a weak laugh. "Maybe I just don't like being told what I can't do." "Clearly," she replied dryly. "The Vraxians find your behavior fascinating, by the way. They've never encountered a species that willingly subjects itself to near-fatal experiences for the sake of prolonged survival." "Is that how they see it?" "Dr. Mev is writing a paper on human risk assessment and survival instincts. I believe you're the primary case study." Alex snorted. "Glad to be of service to interspecies understanding." A comfortable silence fell between them. After a while, Sarah spoke again, her voice softer. "Who was she?" "The person waiting for you back on Earth once." Alex was surprised she remembered that detail from their earlier conversation. He hesitated before answering. "Her name was Melissa. We were engaged." "What happened?" Alex stared up at the ceiling. "When I got my diagnosis, I pushed her away. Told her I didn't want her to watch me die." that it would be easier for both of us if she just moved on with her life. Was it easier? Sarah asked quietly. No, Alex admitted, but it seemed like the right thing to do at the time. And now, Alex turned to look at her. Now I think I made the biggest mistake of my life. But it's been over a year. She's probably moved on for real by now. You don't know that, Sarah pointed out. Have you tried contacting her? Alex shook his head. What would I say? Sorry I dumped you because I was dying, but good news. Alien doctors accidentally found a cure. It's a start, Sarah said with a small smile. The truth often works better than you'd expect. Before Alex could respond, Dr. Jix entered the room, her skin a bright turquoise, the Vraxian equivalent of excitement. The latest scan results are in, she announced. The immune response has accelerated. The cancer cells are being destroyed at twice the previous rate. Alex and Sarah exchanged looks of cautious hope. So it worked? Alex asked. It appears so, Dr. Jix confirmed. If this continues, you could be in full remission within 2 weeks instead of a month. The news was almost too good to comprehend. After so many months of accepting his fate, the possibility of an actual future seemed surreal. Alex found himself at a loss for words. Thank you, he finally managed. All of you. Dr. Jix's tentacles fluttered in what Alex had come to recognize as embarrassment. It is we who should thank you, Alex Everett. Your willingness to participate in our research, despite the risks, has led to a breakthrough that could help countless others. The following 2 weeks passed in a blur of tests, treatments, and gradually improving health. The modified treatment protocol continued to show remarkable results. The tumor shrank steadily until finally, one morning, Dr. Zrell entered Alex's room with all 3 of his colleagues. The scans are clear, he announced without preamble. There is no detectable cancer remaining in your body. Alex sat in stunned silence, unable to process the words at first. You're sure? He finally asked. We have conducted every test available to both our species, Dr. Mev confirmed. The results are conclusive. You are, by all medical definitions, cancer-free, Dr. Jix added. Alex looked at each of them in turn, finally resting his gaze on Sarah, who was beaming at him. I don't know what to say. You don't have to say anything, she replied. Just live your life. That's all any of us want for you. In the days that followed, preparations were made for Alex's return to Earth. The treatment protocol was documented thoroughly for submission to Earth's medical authorities. Dr. Zrell predicted it would take years of clinical trials before Everett therapy would be widely available, but the groundwork had been laid. On his last night aboard the Helios, Alex found himself once again on the observation deck, staring out at Earth. Tomorrow, a shuttle would take him home, back to a life he'd thought was over. Penny for your thoughts? Came Sarah's voice from behind him. Alex turned to see her standing in the doorway. Just thinking about tomorrow. It's strange to be going back. She crossed the room to join him by the window. Scared. Terrified, he admitted with a small laugh. Is that weird? I've faced death multiple times in the past few months, but the thought of going back to my apartment, seeing old friends, trying to explain where I've been and what happened, that's what scares me. It's not weird at all, Sarah assured him. It's normal to feel apprehensive about returning to your life after what you've been through. Alex nodded, then asked the question that had been on his mind. What about you? Will you be going back too? Eventually, she said. The Vraxians have asked me to stay on as the primary human liaison for the ongoing research. There's still much to learn about how the treatment works and how it can be improved. That's good, Alex said, feeling an unexpected pang of disappointment. They're lucky to have you. They stood in silence for a while, watching Earth slowly rotate. I've been thinking about what you said, Alex finally spoke, about Melissa. Oh, Sarah raised an eyebrow. I'm going to try to find her when I get back, at least to apologize. Explain things. He paused. Even if she has moved on, I need to make things right. Sarah smiled. I think that's a good decision. And if that doesn't work out, Alex trailed off, suddenly unsure of himself. Yes? Sarah prompted. I was wondering if maybe, when you do come back to Earth, you You might want to get coffee sometime." The words came out in a rush, and Alex immediately felt foolish. "Sorry, I'd like that," Sarah interrupted, her smile widening. "Very much." Relief and something warmer spread through Alex's chest. "Really?" "Really," she confirmed. "I've got about 2 months of work here, then I'll be back in New York." "Is that where you're based?" "Boston, actually, but I hear they have trains that go between the two cities," Alex replied with a grin. Sarah laughed. "So I've heard." As they continued to watch Earth together, Alex felt a profound sense of gratitude. 6 months ago, he had volunteered for an alien medical experiment with nothing to lose. Now, against all odds, he was returning home with something he'd thought was forever lost to him: a future. The shuttle ride back to Earth the next day was emotional. The Vraxian doctors came to see him off, their skin cycling through various shades of blue that Alex had learned indicated a mixture of pride, sadness, and hope. "Remember, you must return for quarterly checkups for the next year," Dr. Zrell instructed, his tentacles twitching with concern. "And immediately if you experience any unusual symptoms." "I will," Alex promised, "and I'll always be available if you need more data for your research." "Just not for any more fatal doses," Dr. Jix added, her tone making it clear it wasn't a joke. Alex smiled. "No more fatal doses," he agreed. "I think I've pushed my luck far enough." Dr. Mev handed him a small device. "This will allow you to contact us directly if needed. Earth's communication systems are still rather primitive." Alex took it with a nod of thanks. Then he turned to Sarah, who would remain on the Helios. 2 months, she reminded him with a smile. "I'll be waiting," he replied, with coffee. As the shuttle detached from the Helios and began its descent to Earth, Alex watched the research vessel grow smaller in the viewport. The ship that had been his home for the past 6 months, where he had nearly died multiple times, and where he had ultimately found a reason to live again. The blue curve of Earth filled the viewport, growing larger by the second. Somewhere down there was his apartment gathering dust, his few friends, who probably thought he had already died, and maybe, just maybe, Melissa. He didn't know what awaited him on the surface: reconnections, explanations, new beginnings. But for the first time in over a year, Alex Everett was looking forward to finding out. As the shuttle entered Earth's atmosphere, a thought occurred to him that made him smile. When he'd volunteered for the Vraxian medical program, he'd been seeking a meaningful end to a life cut short. Instead, through a series of improbable events, alien doctors, a fatal dose, and his own stubborn request for another round, he'd found something far more valuable: a new beginning. The shuttle touched down on Earth with a gentle thud. Alex took a deep breath of recycled air, then stood up. It was time to start living again,